Welcome, everyone, to Pickers Market, episode 84. Time's flying by. Very special episode. I mean, a lot of high demand for this person that's been kind of MIA for a few weeks. Oh, yeah, you can hear me chuckling already. So anyway, one of the OGs is back in the house, and I want to say thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
he's still with Gradient. He's still with Gradient, but Tyler, let's talk about your new role, Tyler. Kind of explain why maybe you've been MIA for a few weeks, and kind of he'll be our special guest every once in a while now going forward.
So took a new position within Gradient as the president of Gradient Advisors.
Congratulations. Where's the clapping, Lisa?
Yeah.
There's some kind of...
There we go. Wait.
There you go.
Yes.
I thought maybe she's gonna give you the boost.
This time I have figured it out.
She found the cricket button too earlier. So
be nice to me, otherwise you get the crickets.
Yeah. So basically, Gradient Advisors is a sister company to Gradient Investments, but we don't manage money. We have advisors underneath us. We have 180 advisors that are registered underneath us, IARs that are trying to serve their clients and grow their book of business. And so Gradient Investments to us is just a third-party money manager that our advisors can utilize to manage the client's money.
Awesome. Now that you're on the show as that role, I expect those 180 advisors to be promptly subscribing and liking, listening.
We'll blast it out.
All right.
We'll blast this episode out.
Yeah, it's good to have you back in the house. It's kind of like, with Lisa and Tyler, it's kind of like brother, sister here. I kind of like this because now I'm sitting straight across from Lisa. Now you can get the eye look. But now we'll turn it over to the real show and let Kyle lead here.
All right. Well, welcome back. Glad to have you back. Get the crickets button ready. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I know where it is, so I'm fast today.
Well, we'll get into two truths and a lie. Hopefully nobody cheated. We'll see if I can remember which ones are which now. Statistically, after double-digit multi-month rallies, previous historical instances show average gains of 20% plus 1 year later. So after this year's mega rally, we're setting up for another 20+% next year.
Oh, come on.
B, since October's high, Bitcoin is down nearly 30%, one of the worst drawdowns since 2017. And C, since 1980, no cutting cycle that has began with the Fed funds rate above 5% has ever resulted in a negative return for the S&P 500 over the next 12 months.
Ooh, you better let the special guest start with that one, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
You said for B, you said one of the worst drawdowns since 2017. There was a worse one in 2021.
Yeah, I thought so too. That threw me off.
That was like 70%. So one of is true, but if you're asking, is it the worst? And that's false. Otherwise,
it's one of the worst.
One of the worst.
I think I did a good job on this.
A bit vague there. So if you're saying that this is the worst drawdown versus like the 2021, the 70% drawdown, then that one's false. Otherwise, I'm going with A is false.
Okay.
Well, if then ands, boy, geez, new job, and the guy's just qualifying.
I'll clarify. It's one of the worst, not the worst.
Okay, so then I'll go with A.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah.
Lisa.
So A is the lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa's putting him on the spot already.
A is the lie.
I have to separate them.
Yeah, but wait, like it is one of the worst drawdowns.
That's what he's saying.
Not the worst.
He's saying true.
He's saying it's true.
Oh, it's true. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, Lisa.
Well, then I'm confused a
little bit.
I'm
gonna have to jump over there and hit the button.
Well, in that case, I believe it's true as well, but that threw me off. Also, C, I don't know. I can see that. I would say A is the lie as well, because we had like 2 years of plus far above 20%.
Maybe I made this too easy.
Then we are nearly 20%. Maybe we get to another 20% to end this year. And I don't think we have another.
That would
20.
be crazy.
Wow.
Finish the year up 20 from here. Woo.
Well, it's possible.
It's possible. I mean, we have a month to go. I would say A.
I'll keep it short and simple. I'm gonna follow Lisa's logic as well. I think Tyler kind of nailed it on the Bitcoin's had worse. I think one or two that have been certainly worse than 30%. And then I think the rate cutting cycle stuff is actually true. So by default, that leaves me with A. Oh,
I
boy.
got all of you.
It is C.
Oh.
It's C.
It is
Really?
C.
Yeah. So it's true with the exception of 1981, 82.
Oh, boy.
Shucks. Wasn't around for that one.
Correct.
Yep. Just wanted to say the same.
Yeah.
Even the old guy was.
But I was surprised though. Statistically, after double-digit multi-year or multi-month rallies, the next 12 months plus 20 statistically over
Yeah.
the course
I
of
mean,
time, which is kind of crazy because
Yeah.
with
But it keeps getting
valuations,
better,
you look at everything now, and everybody's saying. I just looked at the Goldman data for their year ahead forecast, and they're estimating like 8%, and RBC is estimating like +5. So you look at valuations at near all-time highs in terms of
23 times.
23 times, 99th percentile, and historically over long periods of time, it that doesn't bode well. But we'll see if this stat comes true or not. But I got you.
You did.
Wow.
Okay.
We'll blame Tyler. He
Yeah.
down the sinkhole.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well,
for yourself, Keith.
so we'll move in. Oh wow! It's funny. We've never used those buttons like ever. And now,
now I know how it works exactly and which button does what. Now I get ready for it.
we might have to rotate that seat. Okay, so Thanksgiving last week. It was a short week for a lot of people, so I think it's a perfect time to segue into weight loss. Right after Thanksgiving, when people are looking to gym memberships and other things, and now people, it's probably not gym memberships, it's just GLP-1s.
Yeah.
Just
Why
give me
spend
the
money
shot.
Yeah.
Give me the shot. Yeah.
Right.
But you found an interesting article last week. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal that people who are on the Ozempic, Zepbound, whatever GLP-1 drugs, that they plan to dial back their doses
Yes.
in order to being able to get all the Thanksgiving feasts in.
Yes. Isn't
Which
that
is
crazy?
interesting, right? They dial that back on purpose to being able to eat and then double down the next week again.
Has anybody heard of that actually happen to people that are using it? Anybody? Some anecdotal stories of just anybody just said, "Oh yeah, I know someone that was on it and they
dialed back."
Yeah.
No, I don't know of anybody,
No,
but
I don't either.
I'm sure there's definitely
that is
people who've
interesting.
done that.
It's like, I got a little extra pumpkin pie that I dial
Right.
it back.
You're right. Yeah, because it effectively suppresses the appetite, right? Like you're just
Yeah.
not hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was originally made for type 2 diabetics.
Right.
And then they found out that
It works
when
for
you when you
everything.
don't eat,
you lose weight.
you
Right.
lose weight.
Right.
So let's change the marketing.
Convenient.
Genius.
Well, so I'll give a little rundown here for the listeners. So Eli Lilly just hit $1 trillion in market cap thanks to that GLP-1 frenzy. So it's the first drug maker to reach that milestone. That's really incredible. Highly lucrative GLP-1s, in that space. It's effectively akin to what AI is to tech. You think about like that's the only thing people are talking about in that space. For a little while there was like gene editing with CRISPR, and you've got some other little stuff, but now that has definitely been the dominant factor that is in the news. So the estimate is weight loss drugs, that whole TAM, that addressable market, is targeting $150 billion by 2030. That's just 4 short years from now. I mean, that's really incredible. That is a huge number. So in the US alone, these stats really are mind-boggling. So 40% of people in the US alone obese, including overweight ones. That number's 3/4, 75%. So you think about that and you say, wow, that's one in 3 have some kind of cardiovascular disease. 3 of 4 are in the overweight/obese category. And you look at the companies in the space, and it's like you've got Novo Nordisk, who was the first mover in the space. Then Lilly came in, overtook them. And so, moving into the segue of why, think about like why they've become such a phenomenon so quick. I opened with the joke about after Thanksgiving, we're going to the gym. I mean, that seems like a perennial phenomenon. But why do you think the GLP-1 drugs, why are people latching on to that as the new thing? And is there any durability? What do you think, Lisa?
So I think, I mean, it's a quick fix, right? Because it's fast, it's measurable, and people, some people do not like to go to the gym or do dieting. They want to dial up or down to kind of have all their sweets and treats, right? Without actually cutting something out, right? Who wants to cut something out? Everyone kind of wants to live their life to the fullest. And if you have like a little miracle drug that you give yourself a shot once a week, maybe down the road, just a pill, right? That's where it's probably going, which is makes it even easier then. Then that's just the easy way to do it, the easy way out, right? To kind of just do that. And I think there was nothing like that before. I mean, there were some appetite suppressants in 80s, 90s and stuff, and that was all kind of bad at the end of the day. Again, we still don't know exactly what it does in the long term, but it was very much tested already because it was for diabetic 2 patients before. So there's a lot of data there. It should be very safe. But I think it's because it's the first, real thing that really helps, that people can utilize.
Yeah.
Yeah, in an easy way, I would say.
So do you think it's convenience? Do you think it's access? Well, I mean, those overlap a bit. Cost? Like, how do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. It's interesting. Lisa kind of framed it, and people are calling it the miracle drug just because I think your stats are right. 3/4 of people are either obese or a little overweight, and that just historically has led to a lot of other bad health issues, right? I mean, it's obviously being overweight, it's in the back, heart, diabetic. I mean, so if you can cure the weight problem, which people have been trying for decades, but there's always seems to be some problem with it. It's bad outcomes because of it. This one's been around for a long time, so the safety level's fairly decent. I mean, the one thing that I hear that we didn't talk about yet is maybe muscle tone. People losing too much too quickly. That we'll see. That could potentially maybe cause some unintended consequences. But right now, everybody loves it because it's sleep apnea. It's just all these different indications. At first, it was just for the weight loss itself, right? But that weight loss, being obese, it contributes to so many health factors, which is so much cost on the healthcare system that if you can get this truly, I'm always skeptical when you hear miracle drugs because we've heard it before. So this one seems certainly more down that aisle.
And interesting, I mean, to your point, you said, okay, first it was just for the weight loss, and the weight loss frenzy people kind of jumped in. And it's still not very widely available, right? It's still very, very expensive, cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. So a lot of people just cannot access that, even if it gets cheaper, and it got another $50 cheaper
Rebate, yeah.
For Eli Lilly to compete even more with Novo. So the costs already come down, but insurance does not pay for it as of now. So it's still not widely available, and still people are kind of trying to get their hands on it. And to your point, Keith, it's like not only weight loss, it's just so many other things that it can cure because of weight loss, or because it cures obesity, but also sleep apnea, to your point, Alzheimer's. There are some early research that it helps for that. That has nothing to do with weight loss. It's a completely different patient area. Then also addiction, right? Alcohol, drug addiction. There are some early indications that it can help for that as well. So I think there are just much more things, and the FDA got a little bit easier with, saying, okay, it can, with the standards and regulations around more than just weight loss. So I think that increases the total addressable market even more. That is huge just for obese and weight loss people. But if you include all these other diseases in addition to that, that's just huge.
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, it is just convenience, right? Like, I think most people look at it not from the standpoint of it's going to help my health down the road. I think people look at it as I just need to lose some weight right now, and within a couple of months, it's going to help me do that. I mean,
do you think it's mainly cosmetic right away, or do you think it's actually like a chronic underlying issue of like, my knees hurt, my back hurts, I need to lose some weight? Or is it more like, I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore?
I think it's more that, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean,
especially at first, yeah.
At first, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get myself in trouble on this one, on this topic.
Tyler may not be invited back.
It's that one's a tough one for me.
Okay.
Just my background in exercise and sports, but either way, whatever the intention is, there certainly are the cases where you have a bad knee, you have a bad back, whatever, and the disability part of it does cause you to gain weight because you're obviously less active. And then there's the other side of it where it's just people don't want to spend the time going and doing exercise and whatnot, and leads to overweight. So it's a case by case. I'll just leave it at that one. But it isn't. I mean, the interesting part of the story for these drugs, though, is obviously they were developed for type 2 diabetics, but then the marketing shifted when bodybuilders started getting their hands on it. I don't know if you know that part.
No, I didn't. I never heard that.
So bodybuilders were buying it off the market.
When was this?
This was probably back in during COVID, 2021,
Pretty
before
recent.
they switched the whole marketing scheme of it. But that's when they started to realize, because bodybuilders would take it to lose the fat and be,
extra
like
ripped,
1% body fat for their shows, right? So that's what kind of spurred this. Oh, we can utilize this for weight loss.
Interesting.
And that's kind of when the story started shifting.
Didn't realize that. It's like the genesis
using it as a weight loss drug. So
interesting.
That's interesting background.
Yeah. So a couple things I think we should circle up on more on the you touched on the addressable market, you touched on the cardiovascular, some of these other issues that are related. I saw an article I don't know, it was probably 6, 7, 8 months ago, that was talking about Novo Nordisk and GLP-1s and how it's the miracle drug, right? And there was some commentary, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, of, hey, maybe we should actually just put this in the water supply. And it was an unironic, it was like it was like a legitimate thing in like a reputable news site. So it does make me think, the comment that you made, Keith, about like the taxing nature of obesity, cardiovascular disease, just this on health in general. And you think about the direction that our health care is, in terms of like the structure of it and how it works and how it's funded or lack of, or, that kind of thing. The payment mechanism of it and how you manage that does introduce, with a comment, whether it be flippant or a joke or whatever, it does make you think, are there ethical implications of using it or not using it? If it is a miracle drug and it can actually solve some of these problems, it raises real questions of how these companies navigate jurisdictional legal challenges. Some of them are US companies, some of them are not. Obviously, we've got the FDA that comes in and regulates a lot of this stuff. So how do you think, from a ethics standpoint, does that actually impact this? Does that enter the zeitgeist of conversation? Do people start asking the question of, like, if it's so effective, why don't we just, introduce it like a vaccination schedule or like anything else?
I mean, it's an interesting idea.
That's an extreme,
because
comment,
like we have fluoride in our water, right?
Right, we do.
So you live in a well like I do.
Yeah.
Hillbilly
over here.
Well, Tyler sneaks in on the weekends and
dropping stuff.
But I mean, it is an interesting point, because we do have stuff in our water that
we do.
So if it does have that meaningful health, I mean, that is an ethical dilemma, though,
right?
Because
who decides, right? And what do the companies lobby for that? I would imagine if you put on the Eli Lilly CEO hat, wouldn't you?
You better lobby for it.
Wouldn't you want to lobby for that?
Who pays for it, though, is my question.
The taxpayer.
How much? I mean, it's already expensive, like you mentioned, right? So it's $300 a month. You're gonna be charging every single person $300 a month for their water supply, or like
volume discount.
Right? It comes down, like prices are coming down. There's like a pill that is kind of, so there would
I'm saying
more
if you put it in the water,
right? But there
the
would
more
be
water
more...
you drink, the more it's going to cost.
Right. Your water bill just goes up.
But like $300 a month.
Well,
Yeah, that would be.
a little shift from the ethics, because I think you can get down a big rabbit hole there. I think pricing is interesting, and we talk about the pricing of it, because when this first kind of came out, a year or two ago, where people were buying it over from the pharmacy, they're paying $1,000, $1,300 a month.
Yeah.
That's a big number when everybody's complaining about cost of this and that. But again, if it has meaningful benefits, it's probably worth it. And I think Tyler was right. The people that could afford it, kind of more for vanity purposes, more than some of these health concerns. That's what it was for. And now it's showing you health benefits and things like that. So I think it's interesting that the price points come down, because it's gone from $1,300 to $1,000 to now $500 to $300, which is funny, because I'll give a little anecdote story of my daughter is a pharmacist or pharmacist in training. And she always used to talk about, people come in writing these checks. It's surprisingly, because it's like probably kind of really pushing the budget on some of the stuff, but they still want to do it. But she said, then they have a $25 copay on some rash cream or something like that. And they raise holy hell, but they have no problem paying $1,300. So it's just a mentality that just, just kind of wrapping your mind that people are really doing this. So it's not
and really wanting to
do it, and they'll pay that much money.
Yeah.
So now it's down to $300. Now $300 a month is like, I think you start tipping the scales. And what eventually, I'm sure we'll get
Was
to
that a pun?
Yeah, pretty much. We'll eventually
Actually,
get to the stocks, right? Because of what that means. I think you're going to get this. Yeah, they're so much more prevalent that they won't be able to charge the premiums that they're charging, so the margins go down. So it's how much is it worth to the stock?
New entrants. I mean, we had this with Novo. We owned it in a strategy earlier this year, and copycats are a real thing. The FDA has real, emergency powers to add on shortages, and you look at the Novo stock, and it's been terrible. It's been a terrible stock, versus Lilly, not the case. So that does, I think, beg the question on how investors think about dependence on this one kind of magnificent thing. We've already seen, like in the last month, we've seen a lot of turmoil in the momentum trade with AI unwinding, Bitcoin, crypto, a lot of the stuff, a lot of volatility there. So if this truly is akin, this GLP-1 phenomenon, to healthcare, biotech, pharmacy, how do you weigh the risk reward of future disruption? We have AI being introduced for novel drug discovery. You touched, Lisa, on Alzheimer's. Novo's been working on this for a really long time, using GLP-1s. They just had a failed trial. The efficacy wasn't very good for it, but Alzheimer's has been purportedly linked to diabetes. They're calling it, diabetes type 3, I guess, is what they're noting it as. So still a lot of work there, but how do you think about if a disruptor comes in, whether it be AI use for novel drug discovery or the next magic bullet, what happens here in this space?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, any of it is going to be good, right, for the sector as a whole, because whether it's GLP-1s or the next great thing for Alzheimer's or diabetes, for example, like the whole space is going to try and copy it, right, and it's going to lift up the whole entire sector. So I think it really doesn't matter what's next, but something will be next. That will be the next great thing. Like, I forget what company it was you bought in Core Select that had a stem cell trial for diabetes, where the patients were able to start producing insulin again.
Yeah.
So like all of these different diseases, like they're, with the help of AI or just old school research, like there is going to be something that comes next that'll be the next great thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff like Vertex, if all his names, and
Vertex, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then
they partner with CRISPR on their sickle cell anemia to basically do gene mutations. I mean, that's like the next thing, but is it waiting for Godot where it just never comes?
Yeah, and it's interesting because the divergence of Novo stock and Eli Lilly have been night and day, and they were, to Tyler's point, the market was lifting up all boats at one point in time, and then it starts segregating the winners and losers. And I think Eli Lilly, if you look at the stock for the year, was pulling back as Novo was as well. But recently, since I think it's been the last 4 or 5 months, it's up 80%. It's just crazy. It's to your point, it's a $1 trillion market cap now. It's a top 10 name in the S&P 500. So it'll be interesting if it can maintain that. Because I just looked at the valuation of that. It's a name I don't own anymore. I used to own it in the Core Select, just so you guys know. I sold it due on valuation, which certainly wasn't the right call there. The fact that, it trades at, valuation, typically a pharma company trades at, 8, 10, 12 times
It's
forward
33
PE.
next
Yeah,
month.
33
That's
times.
crazy, yeah.
And again, if it's doing what it's kind of is, there's a reason that trades at them. I fear that, to what Kyle's point is, kind of competition coming in. It's just like, okay, a Me Too drug that's going to be a quarter of the price, your margins come down, you build all this infrastructure, and all of a sudden everybody's just kind of fast follower, and you're like, okay, now what? It's like you're kind of like the, with Pfizer with the vaccine stuff, right? It's like, well, great. Oh, by the way, market turned on that. And that's a little different because it's, a little more vaccine.
This is more of like an epidemic.
This is more, this is more durable, I certainly believe. So.
What is it? Endemic versus epidemic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, we owned Novo earlier this year, got rid of it for exactly that reason, is knowing that there were copycats with Hims and hers, because of the FDA issue, and effectively being able to unwind that. Like, the genie's already out of the bottle, and seeing, a couple quarters of them not being able to manage that well, it's now, I think, a show me story, and happy to wait on the sidelines until they come back. So with that being said, let's, I think, switch gears a little bit in the last few minutes, since this is the post-Thanksgiving edition. Let's just run around the table and hear about the juicy gossip here. Travel, food, fighting, anything? What do we have here? How was your Thanksgiving? I know you had a Friendsgiving.
Yeah, it was a Friendsgiving. It was very traditional, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, because my friend's husband, who is American, he cooked. So we had all the traditional Thanksgiving
You get some of
goodies.
that Jello stuff we talked about
The-
last
No,
week.
that
can
was
of cranberry sauce.
No, that was not part of it, fortunately. But it was like turkey stuffing and all of
The
that,
good stuff.
gravy and stuff. It was good. It was, just sitting together, relax, and it was very, very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yeah, it was good. It was
did you host? Went over.
we went everywhere. So that was, it's just a lot, like, with all the family around. But it was still good. I did not eat much turkey. I'm more of like
What?
the ham.
no.
There's a lot of haters on turkey out there.
I'm more of just like give me the stuffing, give me the brown sugar yams, the cranberry sauce, the whatever, all of the fixings outside of turkey.
Interesting.
So it was good.
How about you?
Yeah, it was good. To my brothers for our side, my wife's side came to our house, and then now my kids are getting older. They're inviting boyfriends and girlfriends, and then cousins are bringing friends too. And
So it gets
gets
larger.
to be almost
and,
about 20, and so it was a good on my wife's side. So it was good. It was just same type of thing. I like everything from the food wise, football. It's all good, and then we drank, for some reason, a ton of wine, which we don't normally do. So I don't know. It was just
Still hungover.
Yeah, no, not me, but boy, some of my relatives on my wife's side, just they still may be hungover, which I'm surprised because they
just lost a subscriber.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going unsubscribe. They know who I'm talking about. How about you?
Yeah, it was good. We went over to my wife's family, and it was good. Had all the classics as well, and I brought the bourbon pie. Made another one right
how'd that
afterwards.
go? Good.
That was good. Yeah, it was really good. It was way more boozy than the one I brought in though. And I think
it should have been the other way around,
I
like the non-boozy version for the kids and the booze version for Keith and I.
I know. It wasn't the one I brought here wasn't really boozy, and then I was like, I put the exact same stuff in it. So
how about the whipped cream? Did you whip up the?
I didn't whip up the whipped cream. It was too hectic in the morning with all the other cooking and stuff. But
I didn't.
Tyler, did you not have? You missed a conversation last week. There's this fruit salad. Do you guys have any fruit salads on either side?
Where it's like Cool Whip, Jello,
pink.
pineapple, cherries, whatever, and marshmallow.
There's one where it's like whipped cream, apples, and Snickers.
Oh yeah,
Snickers.
That's a classic.
That's a good one.
Snickers in there.
And then that's really about it One of my favorites though is like you take actual cranberries and then you soak them in Sprite.
Oh,
And then
Sprite.
yeah, and then add in a little
Really?
bit of sugar, put it in the freezer, and then you take it out it's like a little
yeah.
cranberry slushy. and
Huh.
That's pretty solid. but
Interesting.
That's
What?
really the
That
only.
sounds good.
Yeah,
It's like a kitty cocktail almost, kind of.
Mhm.
kind of. Yeah,
Shirley Temple.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty solid.
That's
All right, and then
different.
last but not least, just gotta cover this. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, already here. Numbers look pretty strong in general for the total amounts, but it looked like financing, buy now, pay later, was like 95% of the number.
What?
It was like a huge number.
I
It
didn't
was
see
like
that, I guess.
it was like credit card, and buy now, pay later was like
Well,
a
everything's credit card, isn't it? No one's
huge,
paying cash
huge,
besides
huge
me.
number. Yeah.
You stood in line, Keith?
He
No.
put it. He reached into the German roots and was like cash
Yeah.
only.
That's what Tyler.
5
and Jeremy
a.m.
used
Let's
to
line
always-
up in
yeah.
front of this door.
yeah.
No one carry. You don't even ever carry cash, do you?
I do have some, but it's been in my wallet for
There's
Kyle,
dust
how
on it.
about
probably
you?
9 months.
I carry cash,
Okay, so Kyle's a little older. That's why, because I always have cash, but
but nobody takes it anymore.
it's weird.
Like
That's the other thing.
card only.
Or
Yeah.
they look weird at you
Yeah.
when you try to.
Like,
pay
how
with
old
cash,
are
like,
you,
what?
sir?
You've been
Yeah.
stealing this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So has
like,
anybody stood in line? Has anybody done a Black Friday ever? You ever done that? No?
I have.
What was it for?
It was when the kids were young. I don't know, some miscellaneous toy. It wasn't like a standing in. I think I mentioned it's just
Yeah,
like
like
right
Was
when
it
the
Beanie
stores
Baby?
were.
It was not long, yeah.
it wasn't not too long. But I've like gone to stores like a couple hours after they opened to maybe get a TV deal or something. But
Okay.
that's long. The big thing we used to enjoy is Thanksgiving Day, football, food, and then I'd be zipping through the paper, just kind of like, yeah, that looks nice. Those my kids were little, so it's easier now to just shop online, which I have not done any yet. How about you guys? Any online shopping yet?
Not really. I don't know. I'm not.
There are some deals out there.
There's some,
Was there?
but
There's some.
there's been deals for the last like
That's the issue.
2 freaking months. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah.
just so long that you can do it like outside of Black Friday and Cyber Monday and get the same thing,
Right.
basically.
Well, and a lot of the time, I feel like the amount of stuff I've seen on Twitter where you scroll through and people are like lifting up the thing
Yeah.
and it's like the exact same price, but it's advertised in bold, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, if you guys put honey on you, I think I talked about this in a different episode. a
Oh,
while ago,
yes.
but
Yeah, you
honey-
did.
So if you have the Google browser add-in for honey, and then you go to Best Buy or Target, pull up whatever thing you want, it'll give you a history chart of the price,
What?
and it also show you all of the other retailers and what the price is at their stores. And a lot of the deals on Black Friday, the prices
Exactly the same.
were the exact same.
Mhm.
So Honey?
Yeah,
Is that a
Honey.
separate app too, or you have to
It's
do the plug-in?
PayPal bought
Keith
them.
is very interested.
PayPal bought them, but
Yeah.
yeah, you just
You have to sign away your firstborn.
yeah.
to get it.
Damn, I'm
All
out on
right.
that.
Well, on that note, thanks everybody for listening. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.